People say that bacon makes everything better, but today we're gonna put that to the test. So today we have every cut of meat, kind of, more or less, wrapped in bacon to see if it really makes it better or not. Let's do it. So today we're making filet mignon, pork chops, chicken breast, tomahawk steak, salmon, we have some shrimp, and then we have a sausage. First things first, I'm gonna season a few of these guys up super simply, just salt, pepper, garlic, and then we're gonna get a really good crust on a few. Because that bacon is gonna go over the top, it's not gonna be super easy to get a good crust. I'm gonna sear off the filet, pork chop, the chicken, and the tomahawk steak. Let's do it. All right, so we have a beautiful tomahawk steak. I'm gonna season it up, some salt, pepper, garlic. I have a filet mignon, season that boy up, pork chop, and chicken breast. All right, let's get a good crust. Okay, so we kind of got a little bit of a crust on everything. So I'm gonna set it to the side, let it cool for a little bit. Let's start wrapping in bacon. First, also, it's super hot here in Nashville. These are our bug helicopters. Just ignore them. Just make sure the flies don't get on. Everything is ready to go. Time to wrap in bacon. First things first, you need a lot of bacon. This is only half of the bacon that we have because I just thought this is gonna take a lot of bacon. I'm gonna start by wrapping the filet. I'm gonna lay out a bunch of bacon. And so I have the top, I'm gonna place that bottom down and then just slowly start wrapping this bacon up into the steak. Now, filet is a very common thing to be wrapped in bacon. Bacon wrapping tends to be for meats that need that extra fat in order to really make them flavorful. Filet itself, while it's a fantastic cut of meat, doesn't have a lot of fat. All right, so we did the filet, and I think it's gonna do really well. It's gonna add a lot of bacony flavor and some of that extra fat onto your actual filet, so I definitely think that's gonna help. Next, we have the tomahawk steak. Tomahawks, in and of themselves, don't really need too much more fat added onto them, but overall I think that this is just going to help amplify just a little bit more. It's just going to be fun. It'll be interesting to see what that tomahawk really looks like. Next, we're going to dive into chicken. I think it's going to be very similar to the filet. Bacon is just going to add so much more flavor into it. Chicken, in my opinion, might be the best one. Next, we have the pork chop. Pork chops are good by themselves. I still think it's probably going to be very good. So next, we have the salmon. I think salmon's gonna do very well with the bacon. Just gonna have to watch and make sure that it doesn't overcook. A bacon wrapped sausage is probably gonna be very good as well. And then last but not least, bacon wrapped shrimp. In my personal opinion, probably could be one of the best ones up there. If it's good enough for Ron Swanson, it's good enough for me. Quick thing to note, we bacon wrapped all of this and then we place this into the freezer to set for about 30 minutes. It's just gonna help keep the form around the actual meat and the bacon itself so it's not just completely falling apart. So now that everything is bacon wrapped, we're gonna throw this into our smoker at 225 and let it go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours until pretty much everything is done. Shrimp should be the first thing to come off, so we're gonna taste it as it comes off and we'll see, does bacon really make everything better? The bacon has been cooking on the meat for a little bit, so we're gonna pull off a few things that are already done and we're gonna try them out. Let's temp probe a few things to double check. The shrimp are definitely done. Perfect, 145. The salmon is done. The sausage, 165. This guy is done. The filet is done. The pork chop is done. Nope, chicken is not done. And the tomahawk is done. Pull at 115. Everybody like that? All right, the only thing left is the chicken. Beautiful. So we basically have almost everything that's ready to go. We just need to let the steak and pork chop rest, but we can dive into this stuff, so let's do it. I'm gonna start with the shrimp. So we have some beautiful bacon wrapped shrimp. Wow. Ron Swanson is right. I give that 8 out of 10 bacons. It works well, the tenderness of the shrimp, the saltiness of the bacon. Like honestly, you don't even really need a lot of seasoning to go on that thing. That thing is juicy. Yeah, that's impressive. That's very, very, very good. Does it bacon? Yes, it does bacon. Now, next up, we have the salmon. Does it bacon? In all honesty, I don't think the salmon needs bacon. It just tastes like bacon. with a hint of salmon, and it's not what I was hoping for. It's good. Bacon really does make everything better, but I think it's just a little overkill. If you really do want to add bacon, I probably would recommend doing like a bacon jam or something that really adds some additional bacon flavor to it. Does salmon bacon? No, I don't think it does. Now, the sausage, juicy, looks very juicy. This is the closest thing I think I've ever seen to a pork sushi roll. It does taste good. Pork on pork is a little weird. I think that it's a lot of the same flavor. I was kind of thinking it would be like too much flavor, but it's just kind of the same flavor over again. I don't know, it's like you added more cheese onto a grilled cheese that's the same kind of cheese, just a different color. 7 out of 10. Does sausage bacon? Sure. Now, the filet. It did overcook just a little bit. Not too bad though. So traditionally, filet should be a fantastic thing to add bacon to. That's a 10 out of 10. Simple, flavorful. The beef and fat combo works very well. Does filet bacon? The answer is yes, it definitely bacons. Next, we have the pork chop. Juicy, tender, that looks very good. It definitely works. It's honestly better than the sausage is. So I would say like that's 8 out of 10. It has enough fat, but not a ton, so the bacon kind of adds in a little bit more flavor on it. Does pork chop or pork loin bacon? Yes, it definitely does. All right, so the chicken is looking good. Pull this guy off. I mean, that looks great. Tender, juicy. It's all that you could really want out of chicken. Bottoms up. Very tender. That's a 10 out of 10 too. That's pretty fantastic. Does chicken bacon? Ranch. Yes, especially with ranch. Last but not least, the tomahawk steak with the bacon weave. Look at that, tender, juicy, bacony, edge to edge perfection. Slicing it is kind of a nightmare, but let's try it out. Oh, big piece. The food's great. That was just way too big of a piece to take a bite of. I have 10 minutes more of chewing, so. That was like 3 bites. Oh my God, you're still chewing. That was great. Cut. Okay, to no one's surprise, that was fantastic. Truth is, took way too big of a bite. However, it works really, really well. I mean, bacon and steak is a classic staple piece. The bacon adds this really rich, salty, fatty flavor onto the steak. The steak already has kind of a buttery kind of texture and flavor as well. So match made in heaven, like perfect. Does tomahawk steak bacon? Yes. Yes, it definitely does. I think it's a 9 out of 10. In my personal opinion, when you're looking at the overall meats out there, if they do really well with bacon, I'm looking for things that have low amount of fat, that have a meatiness to them. And so I think at the end of the day, that's probably filet, and that's probably going to be chicken. Shrimp is fantastic, but if you don't love seafood, you don't need to have that. All in all, I think that bacon is fantastic. And if you really want to do something fun with bacon, you should probably make my new Cowboy Candy Bacon Jam. You can go and check out my new Cowboy Candy Rub in the description below. Go and check out my sauces, Cowboy Butter as well, fantastic seasoning. The Fire Grill, it's sick. Sick AF, man. And as always, stay so freaking delicious. Cheers. Dude, I've had enough bacon, enough meat, enough heat for a lifetime today.
Chicken bacon.
Ranch. Okay, bye.